fact that I would have bought these when I was pretending to be straight on the internet. The closet honestly was made of glass. What hello peoples of the internet, my name is Kevin and welcome back to another video. So for today's video, you may already tell just from looking at my bookshelves, there's no longer a rainbow. The rainbow era bookshelf has come to an end, sadly. It was time for a change, and also one thing you may see people say about rainbow bookshelves is that the most annoying thing is that the series aren't kept together. That was really starting to bother me. At first, it didn't bother me because I loved how pretty it looked. But then, yes, it does get annoying. And especially when you can't just put new books onto bookshelves because you have to rearrange all the colors again. Yeah, I learned that it is pretty for the aesthetic for a while, but then afterwards, no thank you. I needed that era to end. So she has. And then of course, when I was reorganizing my bookshelves and like cleaning it and stuff, I went through my books and just have gotten rid of so many books because I haven't done an unhaul in years. Like I honestly couldn't tell you the last time I did an unhaul like video. I've definitely unhauled books off camera, but I don't think I've done one on camera in a very long time. There's just so many books that I was just so ruthless and was like, you know what, it's time to part way with some of these books because some of them, like I rate them 3 stars. I have no intention to ever reread them, so I might as well give them to someone else who actually will enjoy them. So I do know a couple of places that these books are going to go to. I do have a girl that lives beside my nan who I give books to all the time. So I'm gonna give a lot of these to her, that wherever ones are like suitable for her age. Then the rest of them, I'm probably gonna donate to like a library or a school because both of my parents work in schools. So I could just give them to my parents to bring into the school, like libraries. I also might sell a couple of them over on my Depop. So if you're interested in any of these books, it might pop up over on my Depop. So if you follow me over on Depop, I'll leave the link down below. You can get notified if I have anything up there that I'm selling. I don't think I'm going to sell too much just because I really don't want the hassle of trying to like post them and all that kind of stuff. I just think it'd be easier to just donate them to somewhere else. So that's it. We're going to get straight into this. I don't have this split up into like categories, like starting with certain genres or anything like that. I just have literally like a big pile of books right here. So I'm just going to grab from the top, show you what it is, say maybe why I'm getting rid of it. That's about it. I also don't know the exact number of books that's in here, so after I film this, I'll probably count them while I'm editing and I'll let you know the final number. Or it's probably already in the thumbnail, so you know how many books it is before I do right now. That's enough talking. Let's just get straight into the unhaul and what books we are getting rid of. Starting with a bang, I am getting rid of a book that I feel like it's a bit popular, it's a bit loved, and that's Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I'm getting rid of this because I read it, I gave it 3 stars. I didn't really love it that much. Like, honestly, can't remember too much about this book apart from the ending. Moving on. Next one I'm getting rid of is Threadneedle by Carrie Thomas. I was sent this by the publisher when it came out. I think I have 2 copies, so I just don't need the 2 copies. Next one is Queen of Coin and Whispers by Helen Corcoran. Once again, this is a book that I have 2 copies of, I believe, so I don't need the 2 copies because I was sent the ARC and then I was sent the finished copy. I don't need both, so getting rid of one of them. The Girl of Ink and Stars by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. I believe I was sent this unsolicited by the publisher, so don't think I have any interest to read it, so I probably will donate this one to that young girl because I think she'll probably enjoy that one. Next one I'm getting rid of is Camp Slaughter by Sergio Gomez, aka one of the worst books I've like ever read. I read this back in Halloween of 2021. I read it as my bonus video on my Patreon where I read horror books for like 24 hours. And this was one of the books that I read during that video. And I hated this book. It was just so bad. Me, Chloe, and Caitlin all read it together and all of us hated it. And it was just, she was bad. She was bad. I don't even know if I should donate that anywhere because I don't even know who would read it. But I'm sure someone maybe will enjoy it, but that person was definitely not me. Next one that I have is Running with Lions by Julian Winters. This is one I started to read a while back. And I think I got a couple of chapters into it and I just wasn't vibing the writing style, so I put it down. And now it's just been years sitting on my bookshelf and I have no desire to pick it back up again. The Mysterious Benedict Society by Trenton Lee Stewart. Not too sure what this one's about. This is once again sent to me by the publisher unsolicited. I just don't think I have any desire to read it. Then I have Vanilla by Billy Morell. This is an ARC that I got in 2017, or that's when the book was coming out. I think I got this at my very first book con I ever went to. It has been sitting on my bookshelf ever since, and I've never read it. So I've had it for 5 years now. Haven't read it, don't think I'm ever going to, so I think it's time to just part ways with it. You'll Be the Death of Me by Karen M. McManus. I believe this is like a spin-off series to the One of Us is Lying series. I've never read the One of Us is Lying series, and I have no desire to read this. This was once again sent to me by the publisher unsolicited, so I just think it could find a better home. The next two were also sent to me unsolicited as well by the publishers, and that is Two for Joy, The Magpie Society by Zoe Sugg and Amy McCulloch, and I believe this is a sequel. I've never read the first one. So then I have Robert Sheehan's The Disappearing Act, a host of other characters in 16 short stories. Love Robert Sheehan, like as a actor and everything, but I just don't really have an intention to read his book. Next up, we have Belle Revolt by Lindsay Miller. Now this is one I actually think I was really excited to read at the time when it came out. That excitement has gone because now when I look at it, all I see is a pretty cover, but no excitement to actually read it. And I remember seeing reviews when people were reading it and they weren't really that obsessed with it, so then my excitement for the book just went downhill. Now she is exiting my life. The Iron Trial by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. Now this is one, once again, I've had for years, like way back near the start of my booktube channel and everything. She's still been sitting on my shelf unread. A lot of these, that's the like main thing you'll see, is that I've just owned them for so long and I haven't read them, so I'm just getting rid of them because clearly I have no intention to read them. They don't excite me anymore, so I'm just getting rid of them. Next I have Again But Better by Christine Riccio. I did originally want to keep this just because I want to support another booktuber by keeping her book, but I DNF'd this book. I didn't enjoy it, so I just think this is another one that someone else could get the enjoyment out of. Somewhere Only We Know by Maureen Gu. This is one I read, I think I gave 3 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it, but like again, I just don't think I'm ever going to reread it again. Then I have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is probably one that a lot of you are going to be like shocked by, but I read this as my Patreon book club book back in September or November of last year, and I almost DNF'd it. I did finish it, but I just wasn't obsessed with it. I gave it 3 stars. Personally, just wasn't for me. Next one is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. If you saw, I did a video where I read this. Gave it 2 stars. I just didn't really like it. Now these next 3 are 3 books in a series, and these are 3 that I think I probably will sell just because they're in like perfect condition, and that is the Chaos Walking trilogy. So I have The Knife of Never Letting Go, The Ask and the Answer, and Monsters of Men by Patrick Ness. And the reason that I'm probably going to sell these is because these are all actually signed. I got these signed by Patrick Ness up in Dublin, and they're not like dedicated to me, it's just his signature. I think that I'm just going to sell them on to someone else who's maybe a big fan of the series and just wants signed copies, because I just think that's obviously better than me just having them, and I have no intention to ever continue this series. I did read the first one, The Knife of Never Letting Go, way back when I started booktube, but once again, just no desire now to continue reading them. Like my spark for it has gone. So I might as well give these to someone who is a huge fan of the series and would love signed copies. Next one I have is Holding Up the Universe by Jennifer Niven. I remember I got this when I read All the Bright Places, or whenever this came out, because I loved All the Bright Places. But I don't even know what this is about. Like I literally could not tell you a single thing that this is about. And once again, the spark has just disappeared for that book. The Flame in the Mist by Renee Adier. This is one I really hesitated about if I actually did want to get rid of it or not, because I thought maybe I'll pick it up again. I don't know, I think I'm just gonna get rid of it. Then I have The Black Hawks by David Ragg, and this was one that was sent to me in a bookish box before, and I honestly didn't even know I had it, but I was cleaning a bookshelf over there and it was behind all of the books, so that just shows you how much I cared about that book. Now, the next 3 books that I have are all YouTuber books, and honestly, I really question why I bought all 3 of these, because I was never even that much of a big fan of any of these YouTubers. There is one that I did watch a few videos from, but like, I was never a diehard fan. Like, my favorite YouTuber when I was in my YouTuber era was definitely Joey Graceffa, and I still watch Joey Graceffa, and I've kept his book. And I also have Tyler Oakley's book. I'm still keeping both of those. These ones, I just don't know why I bought them. I think I was just in the hype of YouTubers releasing books, so I just bought them. So the first one is Follow Me by Ricky Dillon. This is the one, like I did obviously watch a few videos of Ricky Dillon before. I used to watch O2L videos and stuff, but I don't know why I have this book. I have no desire to ever read it. Next one that I have is Really Professional Internet Person by Jen McAllister. Don't really understand why I ever got this. I was never a big fan of Gen X Pen. That was her YouTube channel. I think I used to watch a few of them and they used to make me really laugh, but I was never like a diehard fan or anything. So really don't know why I ever bought that. And then this one is the one I'm really questioning out of the three why I ever got this. And the fact that I would have bought these when I was pretending to be straight on the internet. The closet honestly was made of glass. That is Don't Try This at Home by Keen Lawley and JC Kalin. I have nothing to say. Like, I don't know why I have that. Next one that I have is Love and Other Disasters by Anita Kelly. This was my Patreon book club pick back in April. It was definitely sometime this year. I ended up DNFing it and I felt really bad because it was obviously my book club pick. But my patrons or everything were all like, Kevin, if you're hating it, literally DNF it. And I did. I just did not like this book. It was very cringy, the writing style for me. I just did not vibe with it. I wish I had have liked this, but sadly it just was not for me. Next I have Tash Hart's Tolstoy by Catherine Ormsby. This is a book I read a couple of years, no, back in 2020, the start, like before the pandemic hit. And I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, I think. I just wasn't that obsessed with it. I remember the main character was not extremely likable and I just didn't really vibe with the book. It just wasn't for me. Dear Evan Hansen, the novel. I love the songs from Dear Evan Hansen. I sing them all the time. Literally love that soundtrack. However, the storyline of Dear Evan Hansen is something that still makes me a little like iffy about. And when I was reading it, I definitely didn't enjoy reading about it. It's just one that, yes, I do love the songs from this, but the book, no thank you. Then I have Stay Gold by Tobley McSmith. I got this and was really excited to read it, and I remember I used it as an option on my Patreon to read with my patrons. One of my patrons told me about like the representation in this being like really bad and just didn't sit right with them. So I just listened to them. And ever since they've told me that, I just have no desire now to read it anymore. And the next two are part of a duology. I actually think this could be a trilogy, but I just have the first 2 books. I never got the third one. Renegades and Arch Enemies by Marissa Meyer. I read Renegades, I believe, a while back. I don't even remember when I read it. Couldn't even tell you that much of what's in it or what happens. I never read the sequel, and I have no desire to reread this to read this one, so I'm just gonna get rid of both. And I have an arc of The Balloon Thief by Anissa Marufu. Once again, this is just one that I have 2 copies of because I got sent the arc and I also got the finished copy, so I just don't need both. Then I have Rot and Ruin by Jonathan Maybury. This is one that I'm pretty sure if you go back to the start of my YouTube channel, like the very first video, this is on my bookshelf. So that video would have been back from 2014, meaning I've owned this book for 8 years and never read it. So it's just never gonna get read, so it's just time to get rid of it. Same thing goes for The Enemy by Charlie Higson. I've owned it for years and I think I've had it since the start of my YouTube channel as well. So that's 8 years, never read it, never going to. Next I have Frankly in Love by Jacqueline Wilson. This is once again another one where I was sent the arc and then the finished copy by the publisher, so I just don't need both copies. Then the next 5 books that I have are my Vampire Diaries books. So obviously if you guys have seen my videos, I just dropped the book onto my leg, which is dead because I'm sitting in like a cross-legged position. I cannot feel this leg. When I try to stand up, I'm literally just gonna fall because I cannot feel this leg at all. But anyways, so obviously I did my video where I read, I think these 3, I think I read these. That's how many books did I read? I read the first 5 books in this series and then I DNF'd it because after the first couple of books, like in book 5, this series gets very weird. Like very weird. I don't like this new direction we're going, so I'm gonna do the only direction that I know, and that is unhauling. Next I have an arc of Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. This is one that I've lost interest in. I think I started this a while back. I read it like 100 and something pages into it. Then I just put it down, never picked it up. Don't think I'm ever gonna pick it up again, so just gonna get rid of it. The next two actually kind of go together because it's a husband and wife duo, and that is Frankly in Love by David Yoon and Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. Everything Everything, I think I gave 3 stars when I read it, maybe 4, I'm not too sure, but I just have no desire to ever reread it, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. Frankly in Love, I read this back in 2020, I think. I gave it 2 stars. I remember I really disliked the main character. I found that he was really immature and just gross, some of the things he would say, and I just didn't like him. Next one I have is another arc, which is No Big Deal by Bethany Rutter. This is one that I read, enjoyed for the most part. I think I gave it 3 stars. No desire to reread it again. Then I have This Is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay. I'm not sure if I actually finished this or not. And the fact I can't even remember that says a lot as to why I'm getting rid of it. Then I have You're So Dead by Ash Parsons. If you saw my video from this year where I read this book, this should be very self-explanatory as to why I'm getting rid of it. Then I have Scythe by Neil Shusterman, which I think I did really enjoy this. I gave it 4 stars, but my enthusiasm and excitement to continue reading this series has definitely disappeared. Then I have Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I read this for a book club before and I didn't really like it that much. I think I gave it 3 stars. I wasn't that obsessed with it, and I remember it ended on a cliffhanger, and I have no desire to find out how that cliffhanger unfolds. Then I have Faceless by Alyssa Scheimel, and this was another one that was sent to me unsolicited by the publisher. Then the next one is Furyborn by Claire Legrand. Don't even remember what this is about. I don't even think I've seen many people talk about it. I just want to get rid of it. I have Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I actually read this recently, like last month, for my Patreon bonus video where I read a random book off my bookshelf, and this was the book that I read for that video, and I gave it 3 stars. I did enjoy it, but not enough that I'm ever going to reread it again, so I'm just going to get rid of it. Because You Love to Hate Me by like a whole bunch of authors, and it's also in collaboration with like 13 booktubers. I remember I bought this to like support the booktubers being in a book, but it's sat on my bookshelf for years now and I've never read it, and I don't think I ever will. And then these final 2 were another one that were sent to me by the publisher for like a sponsorship giveaway that I was doing, and I had to include them in an Instagram post, and I just don't think I'm ever going to read these 2 books, so I'm just gonna pass them on. I actually think these 2 in particular I'm probably going to give to my aunts, because I think they'll enjoy this, and also maybe my mom will probably like these. The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. I know Kristen Hanna is a very popular author, and I do love this book cover, but I just don't think I would read this book, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. And then the final one is Brood by Jackie Polson, and once again, this is one that I just don't know if I would ever read. I think my aunties or something would enjoy these more than I will. And yeah, that is it for my unhaul. They're all of the books that I am unhauling. I don't know how many it was, but I'll probably have it on screen, or like I said, it's gonna be in the title how many books I'm getting rid of. I'm just really excited to bring these to a new home. Hopefully someone will read them and get the enjoyment out of them that they deserve to have. Now that I've freed up a lot of my bookshelves, I do have a little bit of space right down here for more books. Probably will have to do another unhaul at some point, or I need to get more bookshelves because I am running out of space. As I said, I think the 3 books I'm probably going to be selling are the Chaos Walking trilogies, just because they're signed. And so I'll probably pop those up my Depop. So like I said, I'll link that down below if you want to go follow me on Depop. I also probably will only ship these to UK or Ireland, so just let that be known. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and enjoyed me getting rid of some books. I love watching an unhaul video because I just love to see what books people are getting rid of. My foot is so dead right now. I am actually going to be in so much pain when I try to stand up. Anyways, if you would like to see more content from me, I do have a Patreon where I do bonus videos like the ones I've mentioned throughout this video. I do monthly live shows, we do Netflix and Disney Plus parties. I also have a close friends story over on Patreon, which is available to all patrons. So if you want to join, it's always linked down below if you want to come over and join the Patreon family. Also, if you want to follow me on Twitch, my username is @IrishReader. I am yet to do my first stream on Twitch because I honestly am a little bit terrified that I'm going to do it wrong, but that is where I will be streaming like just chatting videos and like read with me content over there. Also, my other social medias are all linked down below if you want to follow me on anything else, especially TikTok. TikTok at the moment has been a really fun platform for me. I'm having a lot of fun over on TikTok, so if you want to follow me there, my username is just Irish Reader. I'm pretty sure I'm Irish Reader across like every social media at this point. That's gonna be it for this video, and I shall see you all next time in my next video. So goodbye, guys. I'm terrified to get up. I'm literally gonna be in so much pain. Like, my leg... You know what? I think I'm just gonna make my new life being here. So love that for me.